Okay, it's Friday the 4th, and I want to show you what the quiz is about. Right? So we're putting everything together that we know. So this right here, we know for sure that number 1 has an x-intercept at 3 and at 5, right? So what does that tell me? That tells me that the parabola goes like this, right? So, my question is, where does it cross the y-axis? What's the equation of this parabola, right? And so, whenever I want to know, I want to make sure that I can I have to work backwards from what I did yesterday, because yesterday I gave you the equation and you had to find the two x-intercepts. Well, now I'm telling you the two x-intercepts, and you have to find the equation. So, the first thing you do is you have to write the factors. And you have to remember one important thing. And that one thing is that the factors are the opposite of I move that over here. X-intercepts. Right? The factors are the opposite. So if the x-intercept is 3, then the factor has to be negative 3, x minus 3. If the x-intercept is 5, then the factor has to be x minus 5. Right? Absolutely. Now then, you must FOIL. So that's the first step. Second step is FOIL. So here we go. I'm going to FOIL. X times x is x squared. Then I do the outside. Outside is negative 5x. Then I do the inside, these two. That's negative 3x. And then I do the last, negative times negative, positive 15. Now then, I have to add these two together, these ones in the middle. So the actual answer is x squared minus 8x plus 15. This is the equation. This is the answer to the problem. And that tells me one other thing, that this parabola crosses the y-axis way up here at 0, 18. Because remember, 15. I guess I should erase that. Let's try again. There we go. Happy days for me. Because remember, the number at the end tells you where it crosses the y-axis. So these two numbers tell you where it crosses the x-axis, and this number is where it crosses the y-axis. Yay! Okay, let's do it again. I've got negative 4. So that's going to be x plus 4, because remember, the factors are the opposite of the x-intercept. If this is negative, that has to be positive. Now then, 2/3 is the other one, and you cannot, let me repeat it again, you cannot use fractions when you're doing factors. This is a no right? Can't use fractions. So what do? Well, this is what you do. You take the denominator of the fraction and you put it up here in front of the x. So I'm going to move the 3 in front of the x. And then I have 3x. Since this is positive, you have to have minus 2. So look what I did. I had a fraction. The denominator goes in front of the x. The numerator goes back here. Right? That's what we do. Now we have to FOIL. So I'm going to say, well, the first times the first, that's easy smeezy. 3x squared. Then I do the outside. Negative 2 times x. So that's what I write. Negative 2 times x. Then I do the inside. Positive 12 times x. And finally, I do the last. 4 times negative 2 is negative 8. So, remember, your job, you have to add the two middle ones together. That's always your job. You're not done until that happens. So, 3x squared, negative 2 and positive 12, that's positive 10. And then finally, minus 8. Right? So if we were doing this one, we would know that this guy crosses at negative 8. Right? If I could draw that picture, I don't think I can draw over there. It won't draw. So I would have one x-intercept over here at 1, 2, 3, negative 4, right? And then the other one's right here at 2/3. So my parabola goes down like this, and then back up like this. And see, it crosses this y-axis right here at negative 8. And how do I know that? Because this says right there, the last number is negative 8. That means that's the y-intercept. So the two x-intercepts, negative 4 and 2/3, right? The y-intercept is that. Okay, so now let's do one that's all fractions. All right, so remember, the bottom of the fraction, just like this guy, the bottom of the fraction has to go out in front. So I'm going to have 4x. Since this is positive, I'm going to write negative 3. Now this one, the bottom of the fraction goes out in front. And it's positive, so I'm going to write negative 1. Right? So now I have to do my FOIL. First times the first. 4 times 5 is 20. X squared. 4 times negative 1. Hey, that's negative 4. X. So 5x times negative 3. That's negative 15x. Be careful, don't lose those minus signs. A lot of people make mistakes if they lose the minus sign. And then negative times negative we know is positive 3. There we go. So, your job, tell me you know what your job is. I'm circling your job. Yes, you have to add the middle terms. So that's 20 x squared minus 19 plus 3. We did it! Yay! Now, we know the x-intercept is 3/4 and 1/5, and we know the y-intercept is 3. Right? This is the whole equation right here. This thing right here, that's the equation, that's what we want. And then last but not least, this, there'll be one more. Whoops. Erase that. This is negative. And plus it's a fraction, so that means 11 goes out in front of the x. It's negative, so you write plus 7. Remember, up here, this was positive, so we had to write minus 3. The 4 went in front, and we wrote minus 3. The 5 went in front, we wrote minus 1. This guy, since it's negative, the 11 goes in front, plus 7. Right? And here there's no fraction. Did you forget to do what that is? It's just the opposite of the number, right? The factors are the opposite. So if I multiply this out, 11x times x, that's just 11x squared. How about 11x times negative 2? Well, I can do that. That's negative 22x. What about 7 times x? Ooh, plus. Don't lose those minus signs and plus signs. This one was negative, that one's positive. And then finally, positive times negative, that's minus 14. Your job is to add these together. So I've got 11x squared. Negative 22 and positive 7. If you really don't know, take your calculator out and add it together. Negative 22, positive 7. Should be negative 15. Alrighty. We did all of these. So if you understand what we did, you wrote this down, you see that these are the opposite of those. If there's fractions, you have to put the denominator in front, the other number, the numerator in back, right? And then you have to multiply by FOIL. If you can do that, you can do the quiz. All right, that's Friday's homework. The quiz is Friday's homework, right? You watch this, that's the quiz. All right. Bye-bye.